Hi everyone, it's Nicole, and today I'm bringing you my February favorites. I know I'm really behind on posting these types of videos, so in an attempt to catch up, here we are. So hopefully I'll be able to catch up within the week. So I hope you like my face, because I am planning on getting my February, March, and April favorites out in the coming week in an attempt to catch up on all the sit-down videos that I have not been filming. With this video, I'm also going to be showing you my Storygraph stats for the month as well, so give you a little extra tidbit of info, not just my favorites. When I talk about my favorites for the month, I'm talking about 4.5 and up star ratings. Now I just gotta figure out how to screen record again. Command Shift 5. Okay, here we go. Command Shift 5. All right, I think that's recording. So I'm on Storygraph here. I'm just gonna be going to my stats. And since I am recording February favorites, okay, here we go. Let's get this. Okay, reading stats for February 2022. So I read 20 books. And that is 6,195 pages. I've been doing better about checking to make sure the page number is correct, or picking a book that has a page number, because a lot of the stuff on here, since it's user imported, a lot of stuff is user imported, sometimes they're missing page info, and so I just make sure I pick a book that has the page number so that can be as accurate as possible. So that I do trust this number, 6,195 pages. I read a lot of lighthearted books, looks like lighthearted, emotional, adventurous, mysterious. I do read a lot of cozy, so that makes sense. Pace. I do like fast-paced books. One slow. And then medium-paced. Okay. I do read a lot of books that are in the 300 to 400, 300 to 500 range. I rarely, as you can see, I rarely read books that are 500 and above, because I just simply do not have the patience. But yeah, I read all fiction. I did not read a single nonfiction. And then genres, romance, dominating the board. Of course. Are we surprised? No, we're not surprised. Fantasy, young adult, historical, contemporary, middle grade. Yeah, because Uncle Rick. Yeah. Thriller, mysteries, yeah, cozies. So yeah, that is not surprising at all. Again, this format, I'm not very good at picking the right format. I know for sure I read more than one audiobook in February, so I do want to get better at that. I do think I said that I want to get better at that, but that's not really in the forefront of my mind. So okay, here we are, star ratings. So my average rating was 4.18. I have 6 5-star ratings, 2 4.5, 7 4 stars. Not surprising, I really feel like I rate everything 4 stars. 2 3.5, 1 3, and 1 2.5. What did I rate 2.5? Oh, How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days. Yeah, I just wasn't, I don't know. I really wanted to like this one. It kind of fell flat for me. So, okay, so let's get into, oh, these are just pages. Okay. So let's get into my favorites. Let's start with 5-star reads. Let's do it. 5 stars. And all right. The first one that comes up is Wild Sweet Love by Beverly Jenkins. I really love anything Beverly Jenkins writes. She's the GOAT for a reason. And it's just phenomenal. Phenomenal. So, in this book, oh my God, what are their names? Teresa and Madison. Okay, so Teresa, she was like a train robber. She was like, you know, a highwayman almost, and she gets caught and she ends up going to prison, but she gets out of prison and gets sent to this house where the woman is there to like kind of reintroduce her into society and like help her, you know, get back into life outside of prison. And Madison is that woman's son. And so Madison comes in and kind of, he just has that preconceived notion that they are just no good. And so Teresa is she speaks her mind, and she's not letting anybody either tell her what to do or talk down to her, because she'll snap back at you. She's very sassy, which it's almost kind of like a hate to love, I would say. Yeah. Hate. Oh yeah, I even tagged it hate to love. Here we are. But yeah, I love Beverly Jenkins. Black Girl Unlimited by Echo Brown. This was the magical realism young adult fantasy, and based on what I read in the synopsis, it's kind of autobiographical from the author. So we have Echo Brown. She is a wizard. She goes to this magical school, you know, in a certain part of town, but she gets kind of like this scholarship where she's transferred to the quote unquote better school, rich school, and it's just her coming to terms with, you know, being the odd kid out and being kind of looked down upon, and kind of waiting who she is when she's at her home and around her friends and her brother, and who she is when she's at school. It's very, very emotional. And I believe in the synopsis, it gives you major trigger warnings. So, Black Girl Unlimited fearlessly explores the intersections of poverty, sexual violence, depression, racism, and sexism. So, and I believe in my review, let me go back into my review and see the content warnings. Okay, so graphic content warnings: rape, sexual assault, drug use, drug abuse, death of a parent, abandonment, alcoholism, addiction, classism, emotional abuse, grief, misogyny, panic attacks and disorders, racial slurs, racism, self-harm, sexism, sex violence, suicidal thoughts, and vomit. So also there is depictions of an overdose and a hospital stay. So definitely, if any of that triggers you, just go in with caution, because it is very, you know, graphic when Echo Brown writes it. Next one, Real by Kennedy Ryan. This is kind of like a actress and a director of a movie, and it's kind of like a nonfiction movie. They're kind of just depicting a real life person, and so you get kind of snippets of the person that the actress is portraying in the past, and that was really, really fun. Honestly, this is very emotional. Our female main character, she has a chronic illness, and so that is kind of displayed very well. My book club had a full live stream discussion of it, which I will link in the cards in the description box for you, so you can go check that out. All right, next 5-star read is Solid Soul by Brenda Jackson. This is just my attempt to read all of Brenda Jackson's backlist, because I love her so much. My favorite series so far is the Catalina Cove. That was my first series I read by her, and it's just phenomenal. So good. So Solid Soul is about two single parents and their kids hatching up this plan to get them together, and it's definitely Parent Trap, and it's amazing. So our female main character, she's a flower shop owner, and then our male main character, he's like this millionaire, so it's kind of like a millionaire romance or billionaire romance. Just for trigger warnings in this book, there is mentions of cancer and death, so watch out kind of for that. It's very brief and not really all that graphic, so I feel like you'd be okay if those are your triggers. It's not necessarily very heavy in the forefront, but I just thought this was a really cute, very fun, and definitely, like I said, Parent Trap. The kids are a hoot. You get their points of view as well, and so their plans, and they're tricksters for sure. Like they're kind of like one step ahead of the parents, and it's hilarious. It's so funny. My next 5-star read here is Prophecy by Julianne Lindsey. This is book number 1 in the Calypso series. And so this was when Julianne Lindsey, y'all know I love Julianne Lindsey. She writes a lot of cozies and romantic suspense with the intrigue line from Harlequin. But when she first started writing, she took a dive she wanted to write YA fantasy. You know, this was kind of on the train of Twilight, and she just wanted to dip her toe in there, and that's how she started writing. Last year, she started indie publishing, and she created her own publishing house. So a lot of her old stuff, she has gotten the rights back, so she's republishing them, and Prophecy is one of them. It's going to be released this summer, I believe. And so she gave me an art copy for an honest review, and honestly, I love anything Julianne Lindsey writes. She can write out her grocery list, and I would freaking read it. But this is actually really fun. It goes into Norse mythology, which is great. I love anything mythology based, but I like things that are a little like that aren't Greek mythology, you know, because I feel like Greek mythology is almost overdone. So I like that she chose a different quote-unquote mythology to kind of do a retelling on. This book also kind of gives me like Vampire Diaries vibe, which not necessarily considering like the love triangle. There is kind of a love triangle in the second book, in the first book too, but Callie doesn't. Callie, who's our female main character, it's not really like her jumping back and forth between the guys. It's just like the two guys are into her, you know? And it's not like will she, won't she. She's very like, by the end of book 1, she's very invested in one man, or one boy, I should say. And it's not like you're, you know, going back and forth. So if love triangles are a deal breaker for you, there is one present, but it's not like overdone, and she's not flip-flopping between the two, so you don't have to worry about that. Callie, she is in high school. She's a swimmer. That's really like her thing. She just wants to swim and be happy, you know. And some people move across the street and they're the Hales, and they're actually, you learn that they are Vikings and demigods, and they have been charged by the fates to find their destined leader. And so it's kind of a chosen one trope. Callie finds out some interesting things about herself. It's really great. I really enjoyed it. And my final 5-star read, Ablaze by A.H. Cunningham. This is book number 2 in the Firecracker Cousins. I did read book number 1. I still enjoyed it, 4-star read, but this one, if this cover doesn't tell you, oh God, it was so good. Steamy, sexy, consensual. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. So it's polyamorous, black love, also friends to lovers, friends with benefits kind of thing, because our two, we have Mariana, what are the guys' names? I know one is Daniel, and what's the other guy's name? Mason. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, Mason, they're forever friends with benefits. So like they're really good friends, but if they are not like dating anyone exclusively and they have an itch they just can't scratch, they're there for each other, you know, kind of thing. And it just kind of evolves into, he loves her. He loves her so much. You can honestly tell from his point of view is that yes, they're friends, but he is in love with her. He like worships the ground like she walks on. Anytime they're together, he is just going to shoot a shot, you know. It's like, and kind of trying to make her realize that what they have together is special, and you really can't get this with anybody else, you know. They're at this fundraiser together and they meet Daniel, who is the son of the man who owns the business that they're at the fundraiser with, right? And they're the business that's going to be giving them money for the fundraiser. Okay. Daniel sees them, and he is immediately attracted to them, and he kind of approaches them to kind of do a kind of contractual friends with benefits. Let's see where this goes. And of course, you know, feelings blossom and they become polyamorous. And some trigger warnings in here. I know for sure that Daniel's dad is a dill hole because he doesn't like that his son is into both men and women, and sometimes he calls him like a deviant at some points. So definitely go into that with, you know, that kind of frame of mind if that is triggering for you at all. Homophobia for sure. Death of a parent, just be aware for that. But what I really love about this is the consent and the communication, because obviously when you're in a polyamorous relationship, the communication needs to be there, because you're not just about one person. You have a whole nother person's feelings and, you know, emotions and their idiosyncrasies. So I just love that. I love the way the author kind of did that. And it was just so wonderful. And it wasn't overdone. It wasn't like, you know, they were just talking all the time about it. But no, it's like they really did have the conversation and, you know, all that stuff beforehand. So it was just really good. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for the next one to come out. The cover was just revealed and it's stunning. It's beautiful. I just love these covers. These covers are just fantastic. Okay, so that's all for the 5 stars. Let's get into the 4.5s. My first 4.5 is Aru Shah and the End of Time. This is book number 1 in the Pandava series, Quintet 5. Is Quintet 5? Yeah, Quintet is 5. Just call it a series at that point. Okay. But anyway, Aru Shah, we read this for the Uncle Rick Read Along middle grade. Me and Bree, we do this every other Thursday. We alternate channels, but I'll link the playlist in the cards in the description box for you. Last year, we did all of Rick Riordan's books. This year, we're doing his Presents line, and this book is fantastic. I love it so much. It's hilarious. So the Pandavas, they have souls of gods in them. I wouldn't necessarily say they're born of gods. They just have the souls of gods in them. And so we have our 2 main characters, Aru Shah and, oh my God, Millie. Millie is her sidekick's name, her soul sister, because the gods that they have, their souls here, they were related. So they call each other soul sisters. And not even like, there gets to a point in time where they get so close together because they're fighting all this evilness, is that they grow so close that they're just sisters now, right? And I just love that. And her name is Millie. Her name is Millie. I know it. Where's her freaking name? Where's her name? Oh my god. I can't see her name in the synopsis. Her name is Millie. Yeah. If you've read any of Rick Riordan's books, you know that there's this common trope of that the parents of these demigod children are non-existent, or they're, you know, they died or something like that, or they're just bad. Aru Shah's mom is no exception. Honestly, Aru Shah, her mom, she's just kind of left to her own devices. Her mom is busy with the museum that she owns, and she's always traveling and doing things for the museum, and she kind of abandons her kid. And Aru Shah is only 12 years old, and that kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. I just like one series, which we got, but I'm not going to talk about that yet because that's going to be in another favorites video. But I just want one series that the parents aren't total trash, but Aru Shah's kind of left her own devices, like I said, and she has this mysterious lamp that she accidentally, I wouldn't say accidentally lights, but she's trying to impress some bullies at school, and they come into this museum where her mom owns or curates, and they live there too. So they come knocking on her door, and they're picking on her, and she just wants to be liked, honestly. And so they all know about this mysterious lamp that you're not supposed to light it, that something bad is going to happen. She's like, I'm gonna light it. So she does. She lights it, and the sleeper awakens, and all hell breaks loose, and Aru Shah has to be the one to kind of put the genie back in the bottle, kind of thing. She finds out all of this stuff about herself that her mom didn't tell her, and even at the end of this book, her mom's like, I have to talk to you about some stuff and explain some stuff, which we don't get that on page. I don't know if she ever does, but that's neither here nor there. But Brie and I did have a full live stream discussion about that. I'll link it in the cards in the description box for you. I love this book. Honestly, the series is magical. I really, really love it. My next 4.5 star last, Nightshade. Yes. Okay. Nightshade, Melissa Cummins. This is the first book I read by Melissa Cummins, and honestly, I don't even know where I saw this, but I was just intrigued by the cover. This cover is stunning. I love it. Okay, so Fated Mates, Friends to Lovers. Oh, Gamma Hero. Okay, so this is the first book that I kind of ran into that term, Gamma Hero, which, if you look it up, the Gamma Hero is a hero that has both alpha and beta tendencies. So alpha hero meaning they're strong, over the top, protective, like this is my woman, don't touch my woman, I will kill you kind of things. But then the beta hero is like the sweet cinnamon roll hero that we all love. So the Gamma Hero kind of mixes the best qualities in those two heroes together, and you get a Gamma Hero. And I had never heard of that before, so I was like, that's really interesting. And yes, this main character, the male main character, he is Gamma Hero for sure. So this is a vampire romance. We have Daniela and we have Greg the vampire, which I will get to that name in a second because actually, we're gonna do it now. Greg the vampire. Oh my gosh, okay. Okay, so we have his name is Gregory, but honestly, like, that name I get as a vampire. You know, it's a really ancient sounding name, Gregory, very, you know, but they call him Greg for short. Let's just call him Gregory, because Greg is kind of like Bill from the Sookie Stackhouse. Bill, the vampire Bill. But anyways, so as soon as Gregory sees Daniela, he knows instantly that she is his mate. So it's kind of the fated mate situation as well. And there is a vampire war going on. She's in danger. He, you know, takes it upon himself to protect her, even though she's like, I don't need your protection. I just kind of want to get out of here. What the heck? Like, Gregory has kept this secret from her for so long because they work together, and so like they have become friends, and they work together, and he owns the business, but so it's like they have become like really integral to each other, and he's kept this secret for so long, and all of a sudden, like, she's looking at him like, I don't even know you anymore, you know, kind of thing. He loves her, worships the ground she walks on, and I love that personally. But like I said, this cover, if this cover doesn't make you want to read it, I don't know what will. Me talking about it's not going to make you want to read it, but this cover is fantastic. I love it, and it was a really great book. I wonder, this is book number 1, Chronicles of the Otherworld. I'm gonna have to see if the other books are out yet, because this was published in 21. I mean, so there might be a new book coming out this year. That'd be fun. Okay, so those are my February favorites. If you've read any of these books and you love them, let me know. Or if you have difference of opinions, I would love to hear it. If you like my video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on all the social media platforms. The links will be in the description box below. We'll see you next time, avid readers.